time for your weekly dose of movie news, reviews, and the occasional rumor. Here's your host, Todd Vandenberg, Lee Vowell, and Rob Steele. This is Cinema Savants. And coming up in this week's show, The Shape of Water is infectious, Rambo gets political again, and the best movie mom ever. But there's also a programming note. Lee and Todd are both not here this week, so the show will contain 66% less banter than most of our regularly scheduled shows, but this is a special Mother's Day edition, which brings me straight into news that Todd's going to love, because I know he's been waiting over 10 years for this movie. It was a big movie the first time. It is a big hit. It's expected to have a big sequel, and the sequel finally has a trailer, Mamma Mia 2. I know Todd's been looking forward to it, and that is the extent of what we're going to be talking about on the show for this movie ever. Never again. It's got a trailer. You're done. Speaking of number twos, I can rephrase that, but I'm not going to. The Avengers last weekend became the number two weekend of all time. Second highest grossing film in its second weekend. Yay for them. Which leads us to a lot of Avengers news, like we know there's going to be an Avengers 4 because 3 was a cliffhanger. Avengers number 4 is coming next year, and Disney said, guess what? They're probably going to make a 5th. Duh. Who wasn't expecting that? But it's not all good news for the Avengers this week. It's kind of a good news, bad news thing twice. That was the good news. At least one of them. Bad news, the original Iron Man suit has been stolen. It was in a museum, and someone took the suit. No one knows who it is yet. It was stolen late on Tuesday. It's rumored to be worth around $320,000 if someone wants to buy a big piece of plastic that only Robert Downey Jr. can fit in. Sure, why not? No word if Thanos is involved. Let's see, other good news. Annette Bening is signed on to play in the Captain Marvel movie. No word as to who she's playing, but, you get a big name like that. That's a good thing. Then there's a bad thing again. Comcast. Which is already a bad thing. Comcast is trying to buy 20th century, 21st century, the old Fox series of stuff that Disney was going to buy. Then we could reunite the X-Men and the Fantastic Four into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But no, Comcast wants to come in. They've supposedly offered, I think it's $8 billion more than Disney did. Just because, Comcast hasn't screwed up enough things, they have to screw this up too. Gee, thanks, appreciate it, not. That's just absolutely hideous news, I think. And Todd and Lee will agree. Something else I'd like to point out, this floated across Facebook this week, and I thought it was appropriate. And it's the only political news we'll have this week. I would like to point out that none of the Avengers died under the Obama administration. I just thought I'd point that out. I thought it was funny. Moving on to DC news, of which there is a whopping one thing this week. Wonder Woman 2 has a date now. And no, it's not Steve Trevor. He's a bit dead because this movie takes place in the 80s, and that would be too long between. Anyway, it's coming out November 1st, 2019. Now, it was apparently scheduled for December. Then they went, oh yeah, Star Wars, let's move it up a bit. So, looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll be good. On to TV news, of which there was a lot that came out this weekend. Starting with Fox's Lethal Weapon TV series. Now, I mentioned recently, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, that Clayne Crawford, who plays Martin Riggs in the TV series based on the movie of the same name, has been getting into a lot of trouble. Apparently, he's just I'll call him a jerk, because I don't want to beep any of the show. Just being generally unpleasant backstage, and they've fired him. They're going to be recasting Martin Riggs. No word yet as to who it's going to be. If they don't find anybody, allegedly by June 30th, when the options on the cast expire, then the series is going to be canceled. Expect people to be trying out for this, because it's kind of it's a good role, and I'm frankly surprised they gave it to this guy, because I've never seen him on that scale before, and since I kind of refused to watch the Lethal Weapon TV series, I haven't seen him in this either. Maybe he was good, but not off screen. So, let's see, other TV news. Lots of canceled shows. ABC canceled Quantico, Designated Survivor, Deception, The Inhumans. Bad news for Marvel, but not unsurprised. And The Crossing. Fox has canceled Lucifer, much to the dismay of my wife, who loved the show, even though I think it's crap, and The Exorcist. NBC has canceled Taken and Great News. CBS has canceled Scorpion, much to the dismay of my wife, who loved the show, even though I think it's crap, and Superior Donuts. Sci-Fi oddly canceled The Expanse, which is loved by fans, loved by critics. Expect it to come back. I can see this being one of those, oops, we didn't mean to press the cancel button kind of things. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled by Fox. So NBC picked it up. That was a weird thing. I was expecting it to just go away because I thought it was Fox created. Nope, it was made by Universal, and they are kind of in bed with NBC anyway. Hey, why not? Other things I don't understand, because Brooklyn Nine-Nine I didn't get moving. I didn't think it was that good a show. But G.I. Joe, right? Because that goes with Brooklyn Nine-Nine somehow. Ooh, here we go. 99, double digits, kind of like Snake Eyes. See? It's a G.I. Joe tie-in. The G.I. Joe character Snake Eyes, though, is getting his own film, which to me sounds kind of like an inverted Deadpool, because they're kind of the same character, except he doesn't talk. Snake Eyes doesn't talk. Deadpool won't shut up. Snake Eyes doesn't talk at all, ever, 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 ever. So I'm expecting this to kind of be, it's a silent movie with action. Sure, why not? We'll see what happens. No word on when it's going to be released yet, or even who's playing him, because Ray Park may not be able to do it anymore. Don't know. And let's see, speaking of 80s franchises, which G.I. Joe really was. I know the movies came out in the 2000s, but you got to go back to the 80s when Bill and Ted were around. And Bill and Ted are coming back. They've officially announced Bill and Ted 3. It's even got a subtitle called Face the Music. And boy, do they look old. Seriously. It's not a pretty picture. Similar to what I expect the live-action Star Wars series to look like, I don't expect it to be good. I know Jon Favreau is an executive producer of the series. Fine. He announced this week that the live-action Star Wars series is going to be set 7 years after Return of the Jedi. You know what? That's great. Go right ahead. I'm not expecting much out of this. I'm really not. It's kind of sad, I suppose. Much in the same way people think it's kind of sad about the new Lost in Space series. They found a niche that absolutely no one was expecting to have existed. They couldn't have planned this. And, boy, Netflix has said, sorry, we didn't mean for this to happen. Apparently, the robot on Lost in Space is now a sex symbol. This is where the Shape of Water thing I mentioned in the opening comes in. Some people are saying that it's very much of the same sex appeal that the fish guy had in The Shape of Water. Or Pennywise in It, because Pennywise, he was sexy? What? When did... I get the fish man, because there were sex scenes involved. Pennywise, really? And the robot, no. No. And Netflix responded with a cute little movie that is subtitled, Y'all Need Jesus, in reference to the robot being hot. Really? Wow. That's just weird. Let's see, other news. Rambo V has been announced, and this time he's going after a Mexican drug cartel. Right. I'm suspecting that this is going to be a political thing to help Sylvester Stallone's friend Donald Trump get his wall built. Look, Rambo's fighting Mexicans. We better build a wall. Yeah, no, don't do that. That's a stupid idea. The wall's a stupid idea, too. Anyway, trailers. You had some trailers this week that came out that I thought were good. Luke Cage, Season 2, has a full trailer. I'm looking forward to it. It looks good. The first season I thought was excellent. Season 2 looks to be at least on par. I'm game. Let's do it. Coming out next month, I think, even. A new trailer for the new Predator movie. Wow. Just from the trailer, I'm getting a very sketchy plot thing going on. Like, for some reason, a little kid got mailed a Predator suit. And I don't mean a Halloween costume. I mean the actual Predator suit. How? Why? Really? It just, I don't know. I didn't like it. I'm going to wait till the full-blown trailer that goes, here's the plot. And you go, oh, I get it now. But from this teaser that came out, no thanks. Which is sad. Unlike a new DC movie. But this one's animated, so it's okay. Allegedly. I know the last 4 have been kind of sketchy. The Harley movie was horrible. The Suicide Squad movie had that one really good plot twist, but that's about it. Batman Ninja was a cutscene from a video game, and Gotham by Gaslight wasn't bad, but it wasn't up to the way this trailer looked, which is the full-blown Death of Superman storyline, which I'm looking forward to. This looks like the continuation in the same vein of the Flashpoint movie, or War, or Throne of Atlantis, or whatever. Continuing that, only putting in the Death of Superman story. I like it. Keep that up. Don't stop that. Keep it going. That's where you do your best stuff. And some of you may have noticed that, hey, without those other 2 guys, this show is awfully short. You're right, because we're already at the final segment. Best movie moms ever. Because it's Mother's Day. Got to do a little something for Mom. And when I was doing this, there's something I discovered that's very disturbing, I think. There's a lot of dead moms in movies. I'm going through a list of movies that I've got, and I came across Martha Wayne. She's dead. Padme Amidala from Star Wars is dead. Pirates of the Caribbean, there's no mom. Robin Hood, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's right. Lord of the Rings. Frodo's mom? Or was it Bilbo? No, it's Frodo. Frodo's mom, dead. Krull. That's right, I dug up Krull. No mom. She dies. Romeo Must Die. Not just Romeo. There's no mothers involved. Support your local sheriff. Yeah, I dug up a Western. No moms. 10 Things I Hate About You. No mom. The American President. No mom. And even when there are moms, they're a lot of them are useless characters, like Heathers. The mom in that, useless. Kubo, which is a movie Todd and I absolutely loved. I don't know, I guess she became better once she became a monkey. That'll make sense when you see the movie, which I highly recommend. But yeah, useless until that point. I realize that's part of the storyline, but still. I'm going to give you my top 3 movie moms. With a I suppose an honorable mention. That one being Anita Mui as Ling, who is Wong's stepmother in Legend of Drunken Master, which I watched this week because my daughter was curious. The movie is kind of crap, but she makes a cool mom. Not the best mom, but a cool mom. There's a bit of a difference. Number 3, as far as I'm concerned, Alberta Watson as Lauren Murphy in Hackers. That's right, Hackers. Because this is a mom who stood up for her kid, got in the face of the FBI, threatened public exposure of something of the FBI being just stupid about it, all to keep her son out of jail. They threatened her, we'll send you to prison too. Fine, I'll go, but you're not taking my kid. That's a good mom. I approve. Number 2, And this one's a bit wishy-washy, but you know what? I'm going to go with Elastigirl from the Incredibles movie. The first one, I'm still up in the air about the second one. I know a new trailer came out, but really? Anyway, in the first one, yeah, the kids stowed away on the plane, but Mom took care of them fairly well, even though they're superpowered kids that can take care of themselves. You know what? Still a good mom. But the number one movie mom in my head actually didn't really kick in until her second movie. Because in the first movie, we didn't even know she was a mom. Because, she's off at work, making money to raise the kid. See? In the second movie, we find out she was gone so long, not through any fault of her own, that she was a mom. Her original child died of old age, which is sad. But in this sequel, she found another child who was about the same age as hers. And so she kind of adopted the child. And I mean, this was a kind of a kick-ass kid, the sole survivor of LV-426. That's right, I'm referring to Ellen Ripley from the Alien series. Mainly we find out about the mom stuff in the second one, but you know what? Good mom, very protective, the way a mom should. And that's why I think Ellen Ripley's the best movie mom. If you agree with that or disagree with that, contact the show. Cinema Savants at coil.us, COYL.us, because we're part of the Coil Entertainment Network, and that's the email addresses I decided to put with the show, so there. Or you can contact us through Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Go to our website, cinemasavant.com, where we have buttons to get to the Facebook, buttons to get to the Twitter, buttons to subscribe to the show on iTunes or through the Google Play Store or YouTube. That's right, YouTube. No, you don't get to look at us because I don't want to look at me for an hour. I know you don't either, but I make it pretty. It's a pretty screen, and you can just listen to it in the background, and everything will be fine. So that's what we're going to leave you with. I say we because, what? I'm used to saying we. Todd and Lee aren't here, but you know what? They still wish you a happy Mother's Day, as do I, and we'll see you next week.
Captain, we're losing power in the warp engines.
I think we should be leaving now.
I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
And on that unusually harmonious bombshell, it is time to end.
I am very disappointed!
Man, we have a weird job.
It's shameful, but, it's a living.
And like that, he's gone.
Darn, that's the end.